Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. So today we have a Trek 3700 in the stand.
Dirty Forks!
Guy brought me this Trek. Okay, let me start here. He texted me and he wanted to redo this Trek 3700 for his wife. It had been left out in the winter. Yeah, he said he rode it hard and he had a lot of good use out of it and a lot of fun with it, and he wanted to do a complete restore project with a budget of 350 bucks. He said, could you do it? I said, I'm pretty sure I could do that for you. Then about a week later, he said that he's not going to do the project bike with the Trek because they just found a really good deal on a GT Aggressor that was practically new. So he sent me a couple pictures of this bike, and I said, why don't you just bring it to me and I'll go through it and I'll let you know if it's worth saving or not. Well, it was worth saving. Whatever you can do to this one, it's up to you. He says, but I don't want to spend any more than 150 bucks on it. I said, okay, well, I'll start taking it apart and, you know, piece by piece, and we'll go from there. And if I see that it's not worth fixing, or if stuff seized because it's been laying out in the yard for the winter, then, you know, we'll just cut the losses kind of thing. Or I can do my best to put it back together and make it look really nice so that you can at least flip it and get some money back for it to help pay for the new GT for her. Like I say, piece by piece. This took me 1 week to do, working on it maybe 2 hours a day. So yeah, there's about 10 hours invested into this bike, and once I get going on a project, it's hard for me to stop. I started the video process on this bike when it was right down to the frame. I didn't take any video of me taking anything off of this bike. As per usual, I always think, oh, maybe I should shoot a video of this after everything's already taken off. So I do show the parts all on the bench behind me here, all taken off the bike, and just the frame that's left. And then the time lapse is of me putting all the parts back onto the frame, piece by piece, very meticulously, and making sure that it's good to go. So enjoy the time lapse. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that time-lapse video. So now this bike turned out fantastic. Like, and I'm not even gonna tell him. I'm gonna wait for when he wants to pick up the GT. I literally put this bike back together with pretty much all the parts that were on it, except I added a few of my own used stock lows, so parts that came off my own personal bikes that I know are good. And yeah, even like down to reusing the Jaguar cable housing, but new cables in. So because I think this will be a flip, I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. Nobody wants to spend money that they don't have to. And you know, yeah. So I got a grin on my face because this bike, I would buy this bike. Like, yeah, it just turned out so good. Anyway, let me show you some close-ups and go over exactly what I did. Okay, so first let me say that it's a Trek 3 Series 3700 Alpha aluminum frame. Yeah, a solid medium. I love the color on this bike. It's got a few minor scuffs. And isn't that cool, that textured plastic? It's so cool. It looks nice, actually. Fork stanchions were rusted out. I gave it some TLC, some tender loving care, that is. And they turned out really good. All right, again, this is about saving what was on the bike, okay? Not buying new parts for the bike as much as possible. That could be helped. But like I say, I put some SRAM butter on there and it looks pretty good. Like, even the scuffs mark on the forks here are very minimal. There was a little bit of rust on the steer tube, but that was easily taken care of. When I took the headset apart, I had to literally smash the fork out of there with a mallet. It was pretty seized in there. There was actually a lot of water inside the frame, and I did not wash the bike beforehand. So, you know, being out in the snow and stuff, that's what'll happen. You know, things rust and seize and whatever. So, anyway, I was glad to be able. It wasn't pretty, but I got it off. So let's talk about the stem here. Stem is same, still the Bontrager top cap there. What was on it. I did paint the bars because the bars were pretty rusty. So they turned out really well. Nothing like a matte black finish spray paint. Does the trick every time. And then I put a finish coat on it as well. Shifters and brake levers. So these are brifters, as I lovingly call them. Brake shifter combinations. So yeah, brake cables and shifter cables, front and rear on both were changed. So brand new cables, but the housing is original, and it's all Jaguar housing, and it's all still really good shape. There was nothing wrong with the housing, so I reused the housing. I put these little connectors on here to make it a little bit cleaner looking. And then I took the caps off, obviously, because I had to take the shifter wire out, and I did the pawl service on both shifters. So the upshift pawl and the downshift pawls. So now you got some really nice clicks in there, the way I was all gummed up before. So that is all working well. Front brakes, I put new brake arm calipers on there, but when I say new, I mean used. I have these nice ones that fit the bike quite well. The look doesn't look out of character or anything. They don't look out of place. And again, works super well. So that all worked out. And I had very new but used brake pads for front and rear, which I threw on there. And then the front tire needed a new tube. So I had a used tube that was perfectly fine. So I got a used tube in there, and it's holding air quite well. I keep everything, even old tubes that have holes in them. I use them for tube wraps, and we'll get to that in a minute. So the hub and the axle was all, I did a full service on the hub, took the bearings out, cleaned the bearings, cleaned the axles, cleaned the quick release, put all new grease all in there. Yeah, so cool. It's just so awesome. I love it. And the tires are so good. There's no dry rot at all. They're that really like a soft casing. Yeah, they're just really cool. Bontrager LT3 26x2s are on there, so they actually fit really well. They look good on the bike. Coming down the frame. Oh, and I should mention that this frame, when nothing was on it, I don't know, I think it was less than 5 pounds for sure. Let's come down here. So the front derailleur was all crazy dirty and all gummed up with old grease and stuff. So that was obviously cleaned, and everything turned out good there. I'll put it back and re-grease the pivot points. There is obviously some rust that I just couldn't get rid of, but it's okay. I put Bontrager pedals on here actually. They came OEM on my new Trek Roscoe, and I don't want to use those pedals, so I threw them on here. They're brand new. Bottom bracket came out, cartridge is great, everything worked out there. Put new grease in, all is well. Coming to the back set of brakes, again, just like the front set, these are a match to the front. And yeah, couldn't be happier with that outcome. Even the boots are original to the bike, and as well as the brake noodle there. They're both original to the bike. They actually didn't have rust on them, which is kind kind of new, kind of weird. Again, the rear hub, did a full service on the rear hub, took the axle out, cleaned the axle, cleaned the bearings, cleaned the quick release, blew out all the internals and cleaned it all, repacked it all as well. And then over to the rear mech here. I took the freewheel off, put it in some super clean, and took the wire brush to it. Looks brand new almost. A little bit of rust in the back, but you can't see it because of the dork disc is there. And then this derailleur needed a lot of help. It was just caked in old grease, especially the jockey reels, just caked. Greased the threads for the freewheel as well and put that back on. And the chain looks new, doesn't it? So yeah, I really took my time and cleaned up that chain. It's always good to have a clean chain and a clean drivetrain, folks. Here's the front derailleur from the other side. And again, did my best with the rust in this bolt as well. Bottle cage, I cleaned that up as well, and I put the bolts back in there with fresh grease. And the seat collar was absolutely caked. It was terrible. As you can see here, it got a bit weathered while it was sitting outside. You can see there, but there's nothing wrong with that bolt still though, so I just used the same seat collar. And then the saddle rails, all as well. And the saddle, I cleaned it up as best I could. Yeah. Isn't that cool? I think it's so cool. I love it when this stuff turns out like this. So what do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments what you think. How did it turn out? How do you think it turned out? I personally, and I'm not being biased here, but I think that this bike truly turned out unbelievably well. And it has so much life left in it. If this were my bike, I would be extremely happy with this bike. I know what I would ask for it. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything because everyone's different. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And again, let me know down in the comments what you think of this build. It was just so much fun to do, and it turned out fantastic. So yeah, let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. See you on the next one.